running? Why are you running?
Behold the dragons!
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, I know, I have not been uploading for a while, and a lot of things came up, and I became super lazy at the same time. Anyways, I was planning on making a series where I'm going to be giving tips and tricks for all classes and so some useful quirks that you can use with characters on those certain maps. I'm going to be splitting this map series into two parts, where the first part is going to cover the tanks and supports, and the second part is going to be covering the damage and the flanks. This will spread out the load for me, and it will make the video making a lot more easier, and you're going to get more guides pumped out. So anyways, a couple of disclaimers coming through. Firstly, some of the clips are going to be recorded by my friend The Gamer Awesome, who I'm recording with, and I wanted to have both perspectives, so he helped me out with that. Anyways, also do check him out. He's going to start. He streams Paladins with me frequently, and honestly, he's one of the funniest guys I know. Okay, that's an understatement. Don't let that get to your head, a gamer. You are not the funniest guy in the world. Anyways, enough of that. Also, the guy, I think. Oh yeah, and also another thing is that some of the parts were not scripted, and I just talked over it while I was recording the footage with him. So anyways, let's jump into the video. Special Quarry, in my eyes, is one of the more complex maps to traverse and play tanks effectively, as you are mostly on the low ground and the damages are most of the time on the high ground. And also there are two flank routes that you can take to push into the enemy backlines, and the question is that which route should you take to be most effective, which route is better to reach those damage dealers so you can have an impact on the game. In this guide, we're going to talk about which route is mostly better and what to do in those specific routes. But first, let's go into some very basic and all-rounded techniques for every tank on this map. Putting the right hand side is kind of more dangerous as a tank. I normally would never recommend this unless you're going to flank with your own flank as a tank. Then you should consider on this area. The fun about this area is that not many characters are actually useful here, except for Terminus. That trick that I'll show you further on into the video, you can use Terminus to get up here. Or Makoa can also be good here, because as in the other part of the video you'll see, being able to hook a target from here and up here whenever you require. So I can cover some distance with my flank, allowing him to push up and hook the target straight off the high ground. And kill him. That's one. So that's something you can do on this side. But honestly, I'll be frank with you all, because I would always say go to the left hand side where the fidget spinner is. When you push from this angle, you have a lot more cover to work with, and you're also closer to the point, making it very easy for you to like just grab onto the point whenever you need to. And also with the fidget spinner, you can do another thing if you're a Makoa or a tank that has the ability to push people in.
Fuck this game.
Be like, yeet.
Nope.
Like that. That's something you can do. And also, if you win this fight over here, you have such a good angle on the enemies on this side. And if your flank is pushing in from the right hand side, then you can easily sandwich both of them, and if they get forced back, you can use Makoa, you can hook them straight off the high ground for that. That is when you are contesting for the point. Your point tank is most of the time, I'm talking about a more competitive setting, so your point tank is most of the time going to be standing on the point while you and your team are running around trying to zone out the targets and kill them. So let's say you won the point fight, then it comes to the factor of how to zone. When it comes to zoning, I would say always push up to here. At the very least, push up to here after you get the kills in that area. So you see this angle over here, you can get some pretty good dismounts if you use like someone like Ash or anyone along those lines. And also you'll have an angle up here. Let's say your point tank pushed up, then he or she can take the angle from below, while you can take an angle from the high ground and like poke people out from here. And if someone straggles through, you can shoot them and force them out, and then jump just dash back towards the objective, it will be captured by them. That's basic zone.
It would be nice if you could contest. Can you contest it here from moving? Oh yeah, you can. Here, wait, stand. Wait, stand. Just stand. Okay, so you must see the payload, else you cannot. Yeah. Okay, so only if you see it. If you stand like here, then maybe yeah, but it's like not gonna be really good here. If you wait, don't push it, wait. Well, you put a barrier shield and just stand there. What? This is stupid. Actually, no, I wasn't there. But
30
same
seconds
shit.
remaining.
App. You'll need to come here.
Overtime, hurry your butt up.
Wait, I hope you like. Do you see a hole over there? Look, you can even shoot through that.
Now, for more champion-specific tips, let's start with Inara. Inara's wall has a lot more potential than just blocking damage or roots. You can also use it to boost you and your teammates to spots where you would not be able to reach normally. Like this spot I'm showing right now is what I use normally with Inara to get into the enemy backlines with my flank or with my damage dealers, giving us a huge edge with the enemies. And now for our big boy Makoa. Makoa without a doubt is the best tank in every single map, and with his hook and his ultimate, which are arguably the two best abilities in the game, he can change the tide of any battle. And if Makoa is very good at landing his hooks and has very good game sense, he can literally be a one-man wrecking ball. In Splitstone Quarry, he's going to be your team's anchor, literally, no pun intended, probably pun intended. And so we're going to talk about how to play him effectively on this map. Firstly, you need to understand of how Makoa's hook hitboxes work. Yes, the hitboxes of the hook was nerfed, but as I got used to it, I saw that it's still very broken because of how it coincides with the hitboxes of the game, which is absurdly large, like cubes. So, when you play Makoa, as you saw in the intro, you can hook targets on the ledge. Also, you can hook people who are jiggle peeking behind cover as shown here. It is only possible because of how the hitboxes are so large in Paladins, and the hook hitboxes are absurd when hitting something. Now let's get into the next character, Ruckus. I don't care what people say, where people say that aerial assault is bad, why the fuck are you using it, why are you not using rocket barrage, man? Those people will never understand how good aerial assault actually is, and the mobility option it gives me and the high mobility playstyle that I have, it always outweighs the burst damage, or at least my case that is. Also, the aerial assault is very map specific. Don't always pick it. Sometimes, yes, the burst damage is more important, but on maps like Splitstone Quarry and Serpent Beach, aerial assault gives you such mobility that you can become a flanking tank, which allows you to get onto high ground and places where your flanks may not be able to get to, or you may be able to get the kill which your flanks can't, because you have a lot more HP to work with and a very powerful shield. This map is a place where characters with vertical mobility or momentum based abilities can thrive in, and Ruckus with his aerial assault on this map is a force to be reckoned with. Yes, nerfs came through, things happened. It doesn't mean that the talent has lost any of its viability. People just don't know how to play around it with all the nerfs coming through. They just go to the next best thing. They will never try to work out how to play with this talent. and it's possible through some loadout tweaking you can actually make this talent work. And you just need to change your perspective and change your playstyle, which will make Ruckus even better than Fernando when it comes to flanking, and will keep him on par with Makoa at times. Now before you go off doing anything with this legendary, remember to max out the Fuel Reserve card, which increases the March of Machines dash length, which makes the legendary card very effective. Ruckus on this map basically means manipulation of the jump mechanic to increase your jump height, and then pressing F without holding your movement keys to thrust even higher when you are standing near a wall to get onto ledges. Also, there is the use of the momentum mechanic of ledges, but I guess you guys already know that, and you do it unconsciously even. When you use the momentum mechanic, you can jump from one ledge to another very frequently with just using only one dash, making you able to dash from high ground to another high ground platform easily, letting you gain hyper mobility as a tank with a large enough hit point pool that you can literally face any damage dealer and win the fight and get out. Also, you can do something like this and dive bomb onto the point with your ultimate, and honestly, scariest and the most effective thing you can do with Ruckus on this map. To do this, it's quite simple. Just when you're on your mount, go forward and then dismount, and immediately after dismounting, without holding your movement keys, press F, thrust up, and then thrust up again, and then hold the W to thrust forward, and the momentum mechanic will carry you forward hard enough that you will land on the point, or you can also land on the mines where you can ult from safety, and then if you need to get out, you can just use another thrust up and a thrust forward to get out immediately.
Trash. Trash.
Believe it or not, Terminus is actually a high mobility tank, mainly due to the vertical mobility of his F ability. You can aim up and use your F to reach high ground from elevated angles, so let's get into some examples of where you can use this on this map. As you saw in the part before, I easily walk on top of the stone quarry and push forward with my siphon, and but the thing is that a sniper won't be able to do that. You can be like yeet. And after I get close enough, I use my F ability to jump onto the high ground. Doing this will easily force the damages to reposition and jump down, or will cause the healers or the tanks to divide their attention and look back at the enemy damages, letting your damages easily start raining hell on top of them. And another example that can be done is from here. There, the jumping button.
Yes, wait, you can do that again while I stand still. Doodle.
And now with that, the tank portion of the video comes to a close. And now we start with the support section. As I did for the tanks, we will be going over some general positioning tips on this map before going into champion specific tips. So without further ado, let's begin. So basically,
My shadows are low.
Here, I see that there's like damages on that side. To keep safe, I'll place my illusions here, and then I'll like heal my allies who are standing over there. I can place a illusion all the way back there, so the illusions will do the damage. Heal them as much as possible while I'm keeping safe at an angle where the damage dealers can see me, while I can still heal them properly and deal damage to the tanks. And also you can place down an illusion straight over here, so that whenever your flanks come around the corner, let's say they're damaged or stuff, they can just get healed from there. Some normal basic gaming tips. After you have captured the point, you can push up to this post over here with your team after the payload crosses the first section. You can set up here and have great cover, as you have line of sight for every possible angle your team may enter, while still being in a very safe spot where the enemy damages cannot see you and damage you, and will have a hard time focusing on you. And let's say a flank or even a tank tries to push you, you're in such a position that your team can help you easily and punish the flank or the tanks for being out of position, giving you an easier team fight going forward. After that first section, you can immediately move up to this position, and this position is also very advantageous as you have line of sight over the entire mid and its high ground. This position is also beneficial as you can see the flank route from the left and jump out immediately and post up on the high ground near that area, and you have angle again over all of the mid and in a very quite safe position because snipers and enemy damage dealers can still hit you, but you can easily jump down to prevent them prevent them from having an angle on you. And if need be, you can also juke your chasers around this high ground because they will not have line of sight on top of you, and you can wait until your team comes back to help you. And now for the hero specific section, and let's start with everyone's favorite waifu, Ying, from here. So you place the illusion up there, it will still heal from here. Damage me again. In this way we keep the illusion in such a place where it's not targeted by the enemy damage dealers always.
Where are you?
Just stand there. Yeet.
I mean that.
Time to take charge. Replicant overloading.
And now for damba.
Need to jump before that.
No, don't jump. Just go straight off with. Then hit me. Now for a favorite Vulpine, Pip. Pip is one of the few healers that can take roles of both damage dealers and healers, but in this part of the video, I will just go over the healing portion of Pip's playstyle and we'll go over the damage playstyle in the next video. So let's begin. Pip is one of the few healers that have vertical mobility, and it's a part of his core kit, so remember to take positions on high ground with it that is unpredictable when you are taking positions with your F ability. For example, the middle high ground is a great position as you can throw your heals inside the room where tanks are most likely to take cover in to cleanse their cot, and also throw healing potions onto the high ground for your DPS, and also throw one forward for your flanking tanks or your flanks that are either low or are trying to get their job done. Also, another jump that you can do with your F ability is here. Line up with the wall, press F, and then you can easily get onto the high ground if need be. You can also damage the enemy damage dealers from this angle very easily while being in a very safe position. Another cheeky position that you can take is here and just strafe shoot over this chair with your head box barely shown, and you can damage the high ground safely. After this point, the general positioning tips will apply. In the first part of the video, I had talked about the basic examples for all the healers, but as it was a mistake, I wanted to say that it was for long-range healers. Short-range healers who have a limited area for healing, such as Grover, Furia, Ceres, and Grok, will be at a better advantage when they're at an angle of here, on the right-hand side of Splitstone, or on the left-hand side, depending on which side you are on. Here you have a lot of cover and a lot of area to move around in, so that you can just move back, deal poke damage while still being in a very safe spot near your tanks to give them support for whenever they will need it. For Grover, the only tip I can give you is just stay in the area of here, and if you need to use your ult, firstly go up into the air with your vine as shown here, and then use your ult, giving you a bit more time and a bit more room without getting shot at when you're using your ult. A quick tip for Furia would be to, if you ever get jumped on by a flank in your high ground, or you want to disengage from a fight and regroup with your team from the enemy high ground, you can do a quick 180 turn and use your F ability to fall back onto this ledge away from harm. This is possible due to how the momentum mechanic works. Do check out my advanced mechanics guide if you want more details on how this mechanic works. And for Genos, so stand over here, you can deal damage, heal your tanks, and then poke the enemy out a bit more. With Genos you can do a lot of poke damage from long ranges. Just literally jump onto the high ground over here after the push is over, so you can get a better angle on here and still heal all your tanks while still being able to do a bit of poke damage, dismount a bit, and still be in range to heal all of your players from here. That's all. something. And then kill the annoying Grok in the back. After this point, the general positioning tips will apply to Genos. For a tip for Grok would be to use your ult at a certain angle of here. Grok's ultimate is very utility heavy, so whenever your team is pushing in from the left or right hand side depending on which side you're on, I'll call it the lava side, you can use your ult and go through these places so you can give your team movement speed, deal damage, and be at an unexpected angle. And with this, that covers the tanks and supports for this map. This took a while to make, sorry guys, again, a lot has been going on and the clips took a while to compile. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed the video, and the next video will be on the PTS when it comes live, and I hope to go in depth into all of these changes and show you some of the new interactions that me and my friends have just thought of that's gonna happen with all these card changes. And also I'm gonna be doing some competitive speculations about what may be the new meta that's coming through and what kind of comps that people could run. And also part 2 of this video will be coming out when season 2 hits, and it's gonna be a 1 week or so after, because I need to compile all the clips again and then talk over it all. And with all the bigger changes coming around to a lot of the champions, the interactions will be very different on that map. Anyways, I hope this video helps you in your future endeavors, and I'll see you in the next one. What the hell am I even saying, man? You as a healer will never get help from your team anyways, so just accept your fate and die.